Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, May 8th, 2019. Steve Sipress here, and why am I wearing a sweatshirt and a winter coat? Because I am not in paradise of sunny Arizona, where, of course, I'm sure it was in the 90s today and no humidity and just beautiful, perfect weather. I have flown up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the low today was 40 degrees in May. What is going on? This winter coat has been in the closet for over 3 years. I don't even know if I ever thought I'd ever wear it again. And here it is. So I'm up here in Milwaukee, friends and mostly family flying in from all over the country, gathering for my father-in-law's funeral tomorrow. So it's a day full of, as I arrived here, we have an evening of laughter and storytelling and joy, and celebrating the life of Jerry Fabry, my father-in-law, who was an entrepreneur and a father and a brother and employee and servant of his clients, and just all around, if I could sum it up in one word, he was a leader. And America, the world, but certainly America, is absolutely crying and dying for leaders. And Jerry was a leader his entire life. And so, of course, naturally became an entrepreneur. He was the oldest of 7 in his family, so he was the leader of his brothers and sisters. And then he went into business and became the leader of customers and employees, and had almost a dozen locations of his business, still 8 of them in operation at the time of his passing. I'll be meeting with lawyers on Monday, but looks like I'll be taking over the business and ramping that thing up to new heights. But in the meantime, the world is crying for leaders. For generations, well over 100 years, America especially has been breeding followers and compliance. The military-industrial complex, just, hey, get a good job, go to school, get a job, respect your elders, listen to what people say, follow the rules, law and order, self-sacrifice, all this kind of BS. Not the way the U.S. was founded, of course, on enterprise, individualism, self-reliance. That's all. Those days are gone. There's very few of us that buck the tide and become leaders, and Jerry Fabry was one of them, and the world screams for those people and rewards them richly. In fact, the world is changing now, and you can see it now. Well, we're always in an election cycle here in the U.S., thankfully, because it's fantastic theater. But the society, at least here in America, has changed. It's changing from not just compliance, following sheep followership, to victimhood. That's even more pronounced than just followership. Oh, please send me a leader. It's even victimhood. Oh, I've been oppressed. Oh, it's unfair. And you see slimeball con men characters like Bernie Sanders, breeding into people as if they're victims, and they need Big Daddy Bernie to come down and make everything fair for them, because life is just unfair, and government is unfair to you, and the world is unfair to you, and we've got to, make you such a victim and such a compliant follower of me. Bernie, all about income inequality. And of course, the ironic thing is, every one of his ideas, if enacted, which hopefully would never happen in America anyway, they're enacted all over the world and they all fail all the time, but if they were enacted here, they would breed even more income inequality. Of course, there's no more income inequality anywhere than anything where the government has power. And so Jerry Fabry, who's the subject of today's Throwback Thursday, was a ringing endorsement of the opposite of that. Not a victim, not a follower, a doer, an action taker, a leader, a successful entrepreneur, which means he built businesses, served communities, employed people, paid taxes, paid rent, bought supplies, all kinds of people profiting from him being in business, and of course him and his family profiting as well. And people look for leaders, and never had to look further than Jerry Fabry as a leader in this family. So it's a pleasure to honor him tomorrow on his day. And some bunch of people here. Kevin's here, and Phil and Stephen, a whole bunch of people. Thank you for being here. Kevin, condolences. Thank you, my friend. So if you, especially if you have kids, and hopefully a lot of entrepreneurs do this, business owners, if you have kids, you breed them to be leaders, to be renegades. You got to really buck the tide to be a leader. Because again, as I said, people are not only bred to be leaders and be compliant and do what everyone says and do the right thing and do what you're told and do it the established way, but even now it's getting to a dangerous point in America where people are being told and brainwashed to believe they're victims. That somehow, even just by being born or the color of their skin or who their grandparents were, somehow they are automatically a victim or automatically oppressed. They automatically have no chance. And the big government has to swoop in and give them welfare and food stamps and free college and free health care and lots of help and benefits, and all these things should be rights. And that's all great and that's all good, if you believe that. But America was founded to be the one country in the world that was bucking all that. And for a while it did, but then it succumbed to the weight of the world with the military-industrial complex of we need good workers for factories. So we're going to produce public schools that just get people to the bell rings, go to the next class, do your assignments, do what you're told, get a good degree, go to the next college, get another degree, and then go for an interview where the employer looks you over, and if you're okay, you can go have a crappy job for an employer you hate and work 9 to 5 and just be a cog in the wheel and make somebody really, really, really wealthy. If more people didn't think like that, I got to get a college degree and get a good job. If they thought, how can I produce some value for the world and really become valuable? Then the world will repay me with value in return. That was Jerry Fabry. That was my father-in-law. Fantastic leader, fantastic example he sets. Phil says, hugs to Michelle and you, my friend. Thank you. And so that's today, Throwback Thursday, to my father-in-law, Jerry Fabry. 75 years of being a leader, probably at least 70 of them, being a leader, and a powerful legacy he leaves. So I'm going to get back to the storytelling and the laughs and the honoring of Jerry in there. But I have a bonus Throwback Thursday example for you today, because this just arrived in the mail yesterday. So now people that saw my Topical Tuesday video, and you can, wherever you're watching this, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, my blog, my podcast, anywhere, you can scroll a couple of days earlier. I was talking about proof that the Trump economy is absolutely booming, despite what, of course, the anti-Trumper, they're deranged, dishonest, combination of both, whatever it is, will claim, well, they can't get their lies straight. They either, and I don't blame, politicians, media, whatever, their job is to lie. So, but they got to get their lies straight. Half of them will say, or half the time they'll say, the economy isn't really booming. Not everyone, it's just for the rich. It's not for the... And then the other half the time they'll say, well, it's all thanks to Obama. Well, get your lies straight. Is it booming thanks to Obama, or is it not booming because of Trump? So get your lies straight. The fact is, it's booming, and it's 100% because of Trump. Now, proof of that, as I talked about on Tuesday, is regardless of what all the politicians say, Trump is going to say it's booming because of me, and 22 people running against Trump, which includes all the media and all the social media, is all going to say, no, it's not because of Trump, and they're going to pick one of those two lies. It's either not booming or it's not because of Trump. But the proof is always follow the money. And what I shared on Tuesday is that collection agencies, from the IRS right down to anybody, every collection agency has ramped up their efforts. They're hiring like crazy, and they're ramping up all their collection because they know that for 10 years, through the crappy economy created and sustained by the last two crappy presidents, that there was no money out there. People didn't have extra money, and if they got a call from a collection agent, they just laughed and said, what are you, crazy? I got no money. I'm afraid I can't even quit my job because I know I couldn't get another one. And now, of course, records are being set. That's another proof of the booming economy. Records are being set. We're afraid. Oh, you have a job. Don't quit no matter what. Now they're quitting like crazy because it's the easiest thing in the world to get a better job and get a higher paying job because things are booming. Well, right the day after I recorded that video talking about that collection agencies are ramping up, check this out. This arrived in the mail. So this is from the city of Chicago, actually hired this law firm to collect on old debts. And when I mean old debts, I mean Throwback Thursday to nearly 17 years ago. Can you see this thing? It says, Dear Michelle Fabry. Now there's a telltale sign right away, because my beautiful wife Michelle, that's her maiden name. So naturally, when I talk about Jerry Fabry, my father-in-law, that was Michelle Fabry, his daughter. But Michelle Fabry became Michelle Sipress 16 years ago. But 17 years ago, we were engaged, but not yet married. She was still Michelle Fabry. And the city of Chicago has hired this law firm to represent in the collection and disposition of unpaid parking tickets. So this citation, look at the date on that, folks. July 14th, 2002. Mind you, like Michelle parked it in a meter that expired, and they want to collect $122. Now, I'll give you one guess how many dollars you think they're actually going to collect from this 17-year-old, now out-of-state, ridiculous, don't even think about it, what are you talking about, stupid collection letter. But this is proof that the economy is booming. The city of Chicago, governments, into private companies, anybody at all is saying, holy crap, let's send out a bunch of these letters. If we sent them out over the last 10 years with those last two economically illiterate presidents, everyone would have just laughed. But let's send out a bunch now, because if we send out 100 of these letters, it'll cost us $100. And for $122 each, if even just 5 people say, what the heck, I got $122, let's get rid of this thing. I don't like owing anyone money, or I don't like owing the government, or I'm afraid they'll come after me, or, again, all the follower compliant people in the world that just get a letter, and a certain percentage of them will just send in money. So even if they just get 5 of them, that's $610. They give the collection agency a half, maybe, or a third. So that's $300-400 to the city for $100 worth of letters. How many times will they do that? Yeah, as many times as they can. So expect thousands of these letters going out, if not millions of these letters, all over the country. More proof. I know you naysayer, anti-Trumping, lying, deranged, ridiculous people, or half of you are going to claim it's because of Obama and that the economy's booming, and half are going to complain, oh, it's not booming, Trump sucks. Sorry, it's booming, okay? Nobody sends out trying to collect from a 17-year-old expired parking meter stupid ticket when times are tough and people don't have money, which was the last 10 years, thanks to our last 2 crappy presidents. Now, say what you want overall, it might be a crappy president overall, but economically, heck, that's all the guy's ever thought of his whole life, is how to make money. There's one thing he for sure knows how to do, is boom the economy and get money coming in. And even with this tax thing showing up about how he, showed a loss on his returns for 10 straight years, another thing all entrepreneurs know is that's what you do. You figure out any way possible to show losses on your returns so you pay no taxes. I mean, it's none of my damn business what Trump's tax returns are, but man, I'd love to see them. I don't deserve to see them. There's no reason I should see them. Other than I'd love to see, show the world for free. I mean, Trump has to pay all the top lawyers and accountants in the world, but show me for free how you pay no taxes. I want to know without having to pay all the accountants and lawyers like Trump and other billionaires do to pay no taxes. I want to see how many cascading LLCs he has and how he writes off this and does this and this, that, and whatever, and shows this loss and carries it over. I want to see all that. Don't we all? Well, all leaders do. All business owners do, because if we pay less taxes, that means we have more money to invest in our business and to hire more people and to get the economy going even better. And yes, we did build that, and we would build more if you left more money in our pockets. Again, contrary to what a dishonest, economically illiterate, or dare I say anti-American presidents like our last one want to tell you. So that'll do it for Throwback Thursday. We have a completely pro-American, successful entrepreneur leader in our family, Jerry Fabry, is the subject of Throwback Thursday, and my bonus proof that the Trump economy is, of course, booming. Thanks for all those likes. Thanks. Kevin says 0. I predict that he's responding to my question of how many dollars anyone thinks, and you're correct, my friend, of how many of our dollars are going to the city of Chicago for a 17-year-old expired meter. Are you out of your mind? The answer is they're not out of their mind. They know very well the economy is booming, and the city of Chicago, of all places, ironically, is profiting from the booming Trump economy. if you need any more proof of that the economy is booming thanks to Trump, good luck to you, my friend. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday. Thanks, everyone, for being here live. Watching on the replay tomorrow, I will find time after the viewing and the funeral and whatever's going on to be here on Foundation Friday and bring you a foundational business building tip. So I hope you will join me then. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, wherever you are around the world, morning for Kevin and other folks all the way around the world. And I'll catch you tomorrow. I am heading back inside where it is a little warmer and a lot more fun with the family, still telling stories and having great memories of my great, fantastic, awesome father-in-law, the one and only Jerry Fabry. Over and out, everybody. Back tomorrow.